This video is supported in part by Retro Days, a place for nostalgia nerds to gather, share memories, chat, and engage. Go to retrodays.com or check their YouTube channel linked below. Hey there, and welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I'm John, I'm a Gen X Grown Up, and I want to thank you for checking out this video and hopefully the rest of the channel. A few months ago, we took a look at a brand new Pac-Man themed board game that was being distributed through Target. We took it apart, looked at it, gave it a review. If you didn't see that, I'll throw a link up in the corner if you might be interested in that. But ever since then, with the good response and reaction and experience that I had with that board game, I kind of got the itch for picking up the old board game that came out in the 80s. And I have done that. Now, this isn't that video. Be sure you subscribe down below and you'll catch that once it gets produced. But my daughter knew I was planning to do a video about that old Pac-Man board game. She was at an antique mall and she came across the Ms PacMan board game from 1983, also a Milton Bradley game. Listen, the great thing about having grown children is they become part of your army of scavenging for old stuff like this. She sent me a text message with a picture that said, "Would you be interested in this, Dad?" I think I responded in all uppercase, "Purchase immediately," which I did. Look, it was only $15 and it said as is. In this video, we're gonna open it up. We're gonna find out if enough of it's there. If it is, we're gonna kind of give it a test play, find out the quality of the game, and then I'm gonna review it on two criteria, both as its quality as a board game today, and also its value as a collectible, if you're into this kind of 80s era arcade themed stuff. All right, without further ado, let's get to the table and find out what we've got in this cool Ms PacMan from 1983. The box itself is in pretty decent shape. There's a little water damage in this corner, and there's one corner that's disconnected, but the colors are very vibrant still. There's not much yellowing. I mean, especially for a game this old. The back is, yeah, clean, clear, and not bad at all. The star of the most exciting maze game around, Ms PacMan. All right, on top is the board. Let's see the condition of the board. That's important. Oh, wow. Wow. It looks virtually untouched. Look at that. That is like, has it ever been used? I mean, yeah, that's in fantastic shape. All right, let's see about accessories. All right, I see some stuff over here. Anything underneath this? No. All right, well, let's investigate over here. Looks like we have, somebody owned this and they put everything in a Ziploc bag. So yay you. That is smart. I do that with a lot of my games. Otherwise, it just kind of falls apart in here. Oh, look, the trees they originally punched the pieces off of, even those are in there. I have high hopes for this box. I mean, if you kept the trees that you punched out the little pegs from, I mean, the odds are you got some stuff that you need. Let's see, instruction manual still here. Look, it looks like the day it was delivered. This is an amazing shape. Look at this. Wow. All right, let's see what we should have. One game board, yep, 4 plastic ghosts. Looks like 4 ghosts. Yeah, 1 special die. I don't know how special, it is special. There's like F2 and stuff on it, all right. 1 plastic Ms PacMan spinner, that's in there. 68 dots, we'll check and see. A label sheet, which I'm sure has already been applied, that's why the labels are on here. An instruction book. This might be complete. I just did an inventory of all the parts in here, and it's more than complete. So these are just the trees that they punched all the pieces off of. We have the 4 ghosts. Now all of the ghosts are actually double-sided. So you have the blue on one side and he's scared, and a blue angry on the other side. So that makes sense. Yeah, all right. Some of the stickers, the decals are peeling off just a little bit like you can see on this one, but that's easy to fix. I have 0 complaints, but all the decals are there and applied with care. The spinner would be the hardest part to replicate, and it's absolutely intact. This is just a little spinner with a number on it. So, and as for the dots, 68 were required. There's 80 of them here, so they provided extras, and I'm gonna guess this is the even number that came with the original. And the special die is here. Looks like it's got 1, 2, a couple of 4s, a 2, a 3, a couple 3s, and an F2. And of course the instructions are here. The only thing remaining, let's read through this and set it up and see how the game plays. To set up for the game, place a dot token on each of the 68 circles all around the board, including the power pellet spots in the corners. Now, I'll admit this was a little tedious, which is why I'm playing it at high speed, but it's all uphill from here. Once that's done, place each ghost on their respective spot in the ghost pin and you're ready to go. Now, I won't try to explain every tiny detail of the rules, but instead let me kind of give you the too long didn't read version of the gameplay to help you decide if the game might be for you. Each player chooses a colored ghost, red, blue, purple, or green. Your goal and how to win the game is to clear your matching colored section of all yellow dot tokens, no matter who removes them. On your turn, remove your ghost from the board and place the Ms. Pac-Man game piece on a spot with a white circle. Give the spinner a spin and move that number of spaces. You can double back and turn any way you like, but you must respect the maze and not pass through the yellow maze walls. Each time your Ms. Pac-Man moves off a space, you must remove the token underneath, regardless of whose region you're in, so it's in your best interest to focus on the quadrant that matches your color. After Ms. Pac-Man moves, each ghost gets a turn by rolling the special ghost die. If it's a number, move your ghost that many spaces. But if it's the special F2, your ghost gets flipped from strong to weak, meaning you're vulnerable to being eaten by Ms. Pac-Man. Now, if Ms. Pac-Man is able to eat a weak ghost during her turn, you get an extra life, which is effectively a free turn. But if a strong ghost catches you, that ends your turn, and the player whose ghost caught you now takes over as Ms. Pac-Man, and it all begins again. Gameplay continues in this pattern, with the player whose ghost catches Ms. Pac-Man taking over control and trying to clear their dot tokens, and so on, and so on. The game is over when all 17 dot tokens of one color have been removed from the board.
Wow, not too bad, right? Look, I wasn't expecting much of anything out of a board game from the early 80s based on a popular franchise. They are notorious for just slapping a brand on a game and calling it a game. Yeah, I'm looking at you, $6 Million Man board game that's sitting in the corner of my room. This, though, not bad. Now, while it doesn't follow the exact rules of the arcade game Pac-Man, they went out of their way, I think, to put enough of the flavor in there. You have the maze, you're picking up dots, you have ghost movement. A lot of the game is based on randomness. There's not a lot of skill in it. And I noticed that the game is actually recommended for 7 to 14. I guess that means by the time you're a teenager and you have strategy, you won't want to play this. I'm well beyond 14 and I'm not getting rid of this. So let's talk about a review. As a board game today, it would be kind of repetitive. It's fun, it's great. The spinner with Ms. Pac-Man is a little finicky. Maybe some graphite in there would make it spin a little better. It doesn't seem perfectly random. You might go with dice for Ms. Pac-Man. But as a game, it's still fun, and you could get some fun with your kids on a family board night. So I'm going to say, as a board game quality play today, I'm going to give Ms. Pac-Man 3.5 tokens out of 5. It's not going to be your go-to game that you're aching to play over and over, but as a distraction, easy to pick up, easy to put down. You could certainly do much, much worse. Now let's talk about this as a collectible. This is hugely dependent upon whether or not you have an experience like I did. Wow, I've got to say, whoever purchased this Ms. Pac-Man 37 years ago and took great care of it, thank you so much for taking care of things. I mean, little minor box issues, but you even had the trees you used to punch off the pieces before you put them together. I mean, that is just commitment to keeping things in great shape. I wish more people would take care of their stuff like that. So as a collectible, though, if you can get one in decent condition, this condition or better for sure, wow, is it great. It's colorful, it's very reminiscent, it kind of harkens the feelings of Ms. Pac-Man just enough. So I would give it a full token higher. I would go 4.5 tokens out of 5 if you're looking for Ms. Pac-Man as a collectible piece. Thank you again for watching Gen X Grown Up. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Gen X Grown Up is dedicated to bringing you new Generation X inspired videos every week. Here are a couple more you can watch right now, but for even more, subscribe and enable those notifications. And if you love what we do, we invite you to support us over on Patreon. And of course, your feedback in the comments and a quick thumbs up are always appreciated.